Hi everyone, let's talk about Naked, a trio out of the UK that specializes in power electronics music. Formed in 2013, they debuted in 2016 with the album Zone, and up until this point, I had never heard of them. This EP was getting the rounds on the internet, a lot of people were reviewing it. Yay, look, a good EP over here. I didn't really know what to expect going into this album. I'd never heard of this band. This band sounded interesting. I saw power electronics, and I'm like, okay, you know what, that sounds cool. We're gonna hear some really interesting, pretty loud, noisy songs on this thing. They had released 2 EPs prior to this, in 2015 Youth Mode, as well as 2017's Total Power Exchange. However, I honestly think that this is a new beast compared to their previous efforts. Because Jesus Christ, this thing is goddamn. This thing takes power electronics and power noise to another level. And I always have a weird feeling going into a noise album because I don't know what I'm gonna listen to. You could literally just be talking about the harsh noise of Merzbow, a music project out of Japan, or you could be talking about how Merzbow and Full of Hell can work together on a collaborative album and can actually make something really good. So power noise kind of scares me as a genre descriptor because what the fuck am I going to listen to? Now, power noise is something that I would describe this album, but it isn't the main genre. And I'm not saying anyone is calling this the main genre of this EP, because that definitely goes to the power electronics aspect of this EP. Jesus Christ, this thing has a lot going on, but not in a way where it's disorienting. For about 15 minutes straight, you are getting song after song, 5 tracks specifically, of just straight up harsh, in-your-face, aggressive electronics that are so loud, so encompassing in the mix that it is to the point where just I can imagine the little EQ thing is going just rapidly. It is bleeding. It is just clipping. It's almost distorted. However, the mixes on these things are incredibly well done. Obviously, it is loud, it's abrasive, it's going to have those moments where it's going to be just complete chaos for several seconds. But for the majority of this EP, you have some pretty cleanly produced songs. Relatively, right? Obviously, this isn't going to be as cleanly produced as like a Perfume Genius or like a Julia Holter album. There are some amazing moments on this EP that I look at and I'm just like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Like the song Bite or the song Tear, or Tear, I'm not too entirely sure. It might be Tear actually, because Tear, The way this trio uses vocal sampling in their songs makes it where it's like a cry for help, but it's as loud as possible. Like the vocals on this EP are as loud as possible, but everything around it is just so much louder than these vocals. On their Bandcamp page, the band actually describes this album as a psychological horror drama. It follows the protagonist's descent from love to infidelity into hatred, hysteria, and self-destruction. It records the multiple failed attempts to regain control over one's life by breaking one's personal shackles. It shows an existence where meaning is lost to absolute degradation and a rejection of moral limits. Sonically, the production is destroyed, blown out, and heavy, mirroring the extreme, raw, and demonic vocals and lyrics. Yes, I agree. This thing is completely just crushing, encompassing the mix entirely. I will say that this EP isn't all butterflies and rainbows. I would argue it's no butterflies and no rainbows. For one, I think the lyricism on this thing could be stepped up a notch. I just think there could be another level reached if the lyrics are catchy or interesting, maybe socially aware, or just demented, tortured. And I do think this EP relies on more of a shock value than actual musicianship. Surely there is stuff to really appreciate and to really love about the production and how each instrument or each synthesizer or each thing works. But I would like to see more mellower moments on another album, because it can get a little tiresome, and I can't imagine this thing being like 15 tracks long, just being the same thing over and over again. I do give the band credit that on the last track, Destroy, it kind of does that idea, and maybe it's not the best song on here. It's still an enjoyable song, no doubt, but it kind of feels like it's trying to equalize the quietness with the loudness. It kind of comes off in a dodgy way. However, it's still an interesting idea, but consistently this EP just hits you with so much aggression and energy. It's a sadistic soup of power electronics and a frenzy, a psychotic frenzy of just noise and abrasiveness. It's an aggressive EP that has these violent drum patterns, shouty vocals, just completely overblown mixes, but to the point where they're still discernible. This thing is just chaotic in the best of ways. I cannot stress that enough. And again, there are moments on this EP that I'm not so head over heels for, but as a whole experience, this thing is something that it will be hard to top this year. A very strong A-. Damn, I can't recommend this enough. This thing is just batshit insane. But I am curious to know, what are your thoughts and opinions on this EP down below? Let me know what EPs you want me to review next, and that is it. Leave a like, comment, share, do whatever you want. Let me know how I can improve future videos down below. Remember, this is only my opinion, because music is subjective.